Shabbat Shalom. Let's begin with a little review of this week's Torah portion. We are in Parashat Bereishit, the beginning of everything. From chaos comes order, from God comes everything. But we get a little more specificity than that in chapter 2, which is where we begin our reading tomorrow. We learn something very important about Adam, the first human. Yes, God created Adam Rishon, that first person, but in chapter 2 we get a specific methodology. We get to peek behind the curtain, if you will, into a very poetic description of how God made this first Adam. Does anybody happen to remember off the top of their head? What are the steps, the ingredients of an Adam, if you will? Looking for a new hand other than my ringer. What's that? Dust. Dust and dirt. Specifically, Adamah. Adam, Adamah. It is a very deliberate play on the word that the first human was made from the earth of the world, that we are of the earth. We're dirt. Now, that may not sound like such a great statement because we have, as being non-farmers, a very disparaging look at dirt. If you want to know what good dirt can do, please come back on Sunday morning. Our Gan Chesed, our Garden of Kindness, that is just getting started under Lauren Brown's supervision, and there is a pile of beautiful dirt just waiting for things to be planted in. But ironically, despite the laughability that we were made from dirt, ha ha ha, scientifically it's absolutely true. We are made from dirt. I don't just mean Adam Rishon, the first human being. I mean each of us here in this room. We are made from dirt. How do I know this? Not stardust, let's not get too poetic. I mean actual good, honest to goodness soil of the land. Right? What builds the cells in your body? Where do the components come from? The food you eat, right? Well, if you are having a salad, where did the salad leaf grow? From the dirt. The salad leaf did not get bigger by absorbing ether from the air around it. It did so by absorbing nutrients from the ground, combined with water, of course, but without the earth, well, it's awfully hard for these things to grow. It's why hydroponic labs can make things grow, but they have to pump nutrients into the system to make sure that it will actually turn into something more than just a seed. If you eat meat, well, where did the cow get big from? From the grass, which grew in the earth. Exactly right. There was a middle step there, but it's still the same process. So we are indeed made from dirt. Score one for Torah. But our ancestors were not ones to leave well enough alone. We like to ask the pushy questions. We still like to ask the pushy questions. And our ancestors asked, where was this dirt taken from? Because we wouldn't expect that God would just make us from any old dirt. Right? If God is making Adam Rishon, the first human being, God is going to use a special dirt, right? Not just run-of-the-mill, garden dirt, not just what he happened to have lying around in the backyard, but something unique. And also in typical Jewish fashion, there are two competing theories of where this dirt came from. Obviously, God did not tell us explicitly, but we could try to deduce it. One theory is that the dirt that was used to create Adam Rishon came from Har Moriah, also known as Har Habayit, also known as the Temple Mount. The centerpiece of Jerusalem. Nowadays, you would know it better as being the Dome of the Rock and the site of the Al-Aqsa Mosque. But for most of history, that was the focal point of our Jewish faith, and it remains the focal point of the Jewish heart. It is where the Temple of Solomon was built. It is where the Second Temple was built. It is where David first established his kingdom around. It's kind of a special place. But more than that, say our ancestors, it is also the place where the Akedat Yitzchak happened, where the year sacrifice of Isaac took place, that Abraham led his son to that place. And then it was revealed to him that this was not just a little mountain in a little country, but that this was the spot where the earth had been gathered to form the first human. What would our ancestors mean by this? I mean, why would they imagine that this place, Har Moriah, the mountain of Moriah, the centerpiece of our faith, why would that be the place of all places on earth for the earth to be taken? Well, we have to remember what the function of the Beit HaMikdash, the temple, was, of what the idea was when God said, there will be a place in the land that I will choose to make my name dwell. God chose that site. God made the temple be built, Mishkan first in its tabernacle form, because he wanted there to be a centerpiece for all of the world to focus towards, to hear the message of justice, to hear the message of peace. And God wanted that place to be calling out to the heart of every human being. It's true that Judaism doesn't proselytize. We don't go around knocking on doors and saying, have you heard the good news? Why not be Jewish? But we do believe that God cares about every human being. And we do believe that God put into each human being some of that dirt, some of that dust taken from this place, which symbolizes the unity of humanity and the call of our soul towards justice and peace. It is there in all of us. Oftentimes, pardon the expression, we bury it. Oftentimes we are deaf to it. Oftentimes our own cries of incoherent rage and hate drown it out. But no human was born that wasn't fashioned from the earth of the Temple Mount. We all have that same message encoded into our very being. But like I said, there was a debate. There was a second option of where that dirt came from. And that is that God took the dirt from the four corners of the world. God didn't take it from here, didn't take it from there. He took from everywhere. The four corners of the world is a euphemism used in biblical commentary to represent from everywhere. Again, why would our ancestors believe that God brought the dirt together from everywhere? So that we would all know that no one person had a greater claim to being the true human being because the dirt of their country was the dirt that made all of humanity. That the dirt that was within all of us came from all of us. Every nation, every spot upon the earth is home for all of us. We are a blend within our very fabric of everything in God's creation. You'll notice when we put these two together, it may sound like they are competing at first, but in fact they are very complementary. It would be easy to be filled with overweening pride at the idea that we are all built from the dirt of the Temple Mount. And it would be easy to imagine that we are all just the same, blended together from the great mixture of the soils of the world. Put these two concepts together, however, and each cancels out the weaker elements of each argument. Yes, we are all the same. We are all equal in God's eyes. No matter where we stand before our Lord. But there is a particular version of how we are meant to stand in this world that God built into us. We don't just pick between good and evil as though they were equal. There is a good, and we do have the right to choose it, and there is, unfortunately, an evil, and we have the freedom to choose that. But choosing evil doesn't make it good. There is a justice, there is a peace that is sought after by our very body, the fabric of our creation. We can try to deny it, we can claim relativism, we can say that no, from where I stand, I'm not called to that. And Judaism says, tough. You may claim that you are outside the bonds of law. You may claim that you are outside the borders of peace. But you're not. Talk to me. Let us find the path to guide yourself towards peace. Let us end the struggle going on within you that is causing the struggle without. In the meantime, we will continue to struggle. But recognize that you are struggling against the call of creation. You are struggling against your very self, made from the essence of peace and justice as symbolized by the Temple Mount. Come back to the family. Allow us to see each other as brothers and sisters. Allow each other to calmly hear that call. Justice and peace. It is achievable. It is in our DNA. We are not just the remnants of molecules transmitted through plants and animals that have been used to build ourselves. We are the children of God. All of us, each of us, every one of us. And the ache is in our heart. The ache to be together in peace. The ache to find justice. The ache to fulfill the mission that God gave us in Gan Eden, in the Garden of Eden. To live up to the substance of our creation. We will continue to struggle until all the world understands this message. We won't make them Jewish, but we can help bring peace and justice. We will never stop. Shabbat Shalom.